Welcome everyone to Spoiler Warning featuring myself, Tom Colohue. We are covering wrestling, bloody wrestling, and quite a lot of wrestling to boot because, as always, we're heading into a strong period for wrestling, that being Saudi Arabia. So yeah, not really. But there's a King and Queen of the Ring tournament going on. And then after that, it's the UK, it's Drew McIntyre celebration month, and then, SummerSlam. But you know what they're doing to try and keep things exciting? They're going to make you believe. And they're going to make you believe good. Our top story today is more details of what's going on backstage with Bo Dallas and his intended tribute to Bray Wyatt. We're also going to be talking about Brian Gewirtz, McIntyre versus Priest, Liv Morgan's arrest footage, the situation with Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair, someone who's trying to get Brock Lesnar back to the company, what's actually going on with Ivar as well. So quite a bit still to cover, but our top story will of course be as regards what's happening between Bo Dallas, Rob Fee, and in memory of Bray Wyatt with the Wyatt 6. So here's what I have so far that I've not already been able to share. Bo Dallas is back. Hashtag they're here. The clear invention and the clear design is in tribute to Bray Wyatt of what they're doing, but they're actually using a lot of ideas from Rob Fee. Rob Fee's been directly involved with the initial Wyatt 6. He's directly involved now with Bo Dallas, and Bo Dallas is believed to have the full backing of both Triple H and Nick Khan in doing whatever the hell he wants to do. A lot of the work that's been done on Twitch was under the encouragement of Rob Fee because with Triple H and Nick Khan on board, they are trying to make it happen that essentially he can do whatever he wants. The Twitch platform gets to grow, something which the WWE haven't really been using too independently, but in addition to that, they're also looking at growing many other platforms. They have gotten themselves traffic and ads based on these QR codes, and they're also using it for platforms like TikTok. This is, and they're hoping it continues to be, a viral sensation for the company, and it means that after shows have long ended, they are still able to hype up what is happening here. Bo Dallas has the full backing of everyone involved, and it's not just when it comes to creative, it's also financial. New returnings such as Erick Rowan were signed with no questions asked to contracts that are on decent money, and in fact quite a bit more than the people who were released. There are plans that involve both Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss. They're incoming, but they're going to be part of the story more than part of the inception. So the Wyatt 6 will be its own launch entity before we then see the involvement of Braun Strowman, the involvement of Alexa Bliss, and quite possibly the involvement of others such as Cody Rhodes. The launch pattern is not going to be SummerSlam. It sounds like it's actually being brought forwards and will be in play earlier. Triple H essentially called an audible during the draft and said, I know what you're going to do. I like what you're going to do. Let's get someone in the ring a little bit faster and we'll build on something big. When it comes to Joe Gacy and Nikki Cross, I can confirm that they are going to be involved in the Wyatt 6 and they're already actively taking part in doing so. One of the main reasons for this is that they were amongst the names first mentioned by Bray Wyatt himself upon his return. Before Bray Wyatt signed the contract, he was already keeping tabs on certain wrestlers whom he wanted involved, and Bo Dallas is following that lead to the T. Bo Dallas will be working towards Bray's dream character rather than any particular invention of his own, and Rob Fee has been vital to that. The debut is coming soon, and we will see something we have never seen before in the ilk of whatever Bray Wyatt was planning to do. It will not just be a tribute, it will be a rebranding, it will be a reboot, it will be a continuation of the same story Bray Wyatt always tried to tell. He tried to tell one story his entire career, and there was always something, an injury, a release, that got in the way. Bo Dallas has the full backing of everyone in the WWE to go all the way with this one. So that is our first story. There's a bit more to come, so keep your eyes peeled on that one. We already have 78 people here, only 20 likes. Let's get those likes rolling in because we have nearly 4 times as many people watching as we do likes. That little thumbs up makes a massive difference and I'd very much appreciate it. A few questions and comments I want to react to before we get to our next piece of news. Look, Wawa says, is The Fiend coming back when Bo Dallas brings back the Wyatt Six? The Fiend is believed to be one member of the Wyatt Six, yes. Michael says, hi Tom. Welcome, Michael. Bailey says, what show will the Wyatt Six be seen on? Haven't had this confirmed. My personal suspicion is SmackDown. Mark says, hi Tom, just wanted to let you know my daughter is watching you for the first time away as mum is away on a hen do. Could you please say hi, Daisy? Of course I can. Hi Daisy, I know you have no idea who I am. I know I'm not a big deal for you. But if someone on the internet saying hi Daisy means something to you, I'll happily be that person. Hi Daisy, hope you're having a great time. David says, Meltzer said Ivar's injury was a work. Fightful and Ivar himself tweeted it's very serious. Yeah. We have more on that to come. Dave Meltzer was absolutely wrong on that one. Daniela says, good evening, Tom. What's your thoughts on the possibility of Chad lining up with the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile? It's been kind of teased on Raw. That is indeed the plan, but the entirety of Alpha Academy are benefiting hugely right now. The WWE is seeing how long they can take this and how long they can make it last. Triple H is loving Chad Gable's work, and if he does keep going, there will definitely be Intercontinental Championships in his future. Like what you've gone with there, Blair. Hi Sean, how you doing? Richard says, hello Tom, how did Dave get the Ivar report wrong? Saying that his injury was an angle when even Ivar says he is legit hurt and weighing surgery options, because Dave Meltzer did not attempt to get a comment from Ivar. Okay Sid, then let's not do that. Khalid says, I loved the Twitch stream yesterday. Yeah, it certainly got a lot of people watching a Twitch show where they didn't have to make any particular wrestling content. It was clever. Dylan says, Ilya Dragunov was going to win the King of the Ring. Now they lost. Who do you want to win? My prediction was indeed Ilya Dragunov. With him no longer involved, I do think the final comes down to... It's going to have to be Gunter. But also it doesn't have to be Gunter. I think Tama Tonga's going to be the guy. Because imagine a King of the Ring final featuring Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga. We're suddenly on the ropes for that. Sean says, Asuka revealed on her YouTube channel she's taken time off due to a knee injury. She didn't say what kind of knee injury or how long she'll be out for. A couple of weeks ago, I reported the same. I am appreciative of Asuka for confirming it. Razar says, hello Tom, this week has been crazy in the IWC. Jey Uso won on Monday and nothing's been the same since. Very true, but we still had a very good launch for Ilya Dragunov that will be continuing. So Vic says, hello Tom, hope you're doing great. I want to know, when will the Wyatt Six stable debut? Is it King and Queen of the Ring? Everything I know has already been shared. Just zip back right to the beginning and all the information is there. Sean says, do you know why Tiffany versus Bianca was pulled from SmackDown? The WWE are still advertising that match. Khalid says, very excited for the arrival. If the Fiend comes back, I will let him in. The other Mike says, who would be your choice of who the Wyatt Six feud with first? Cody Rhodes. Yep, Cody Rhodes. Brand new story. Jordan says, a very good evening to you, Tom. Many thanks for Bo Dallas Y6 News. Hope you're well, mate. Doing very well, thank you, Jordan. That's good to hear, Mark. Glad to hear it. Spiderboss says, I don't get why fans try to cancel Tiffany on social media. Because people are dicks. Sorry, Daisy. David says, Tom, is Tiffany in any trouble backstage for her insensitive post? No. There's going to be a lot of that. I know there's always questions where I say no, but we are where we are. Mark says, I'm excited and worried about Bo Dallas doing this. Just really hope this works. Marcel says, Bray is my favourite wrestler. I hope they handle it with respect, but with Bo, I'm confident about that it will be. They are giving him whatever he wants. Sovic says, Dave Meltzer never apologises or contradicts himself on anything he does wrong. This isn't the first time. It's really not. More on that later. Sean was surprised that Jay defeated Ilya. So was I, to be fair. Daniela says it will be a dragged out storyline that'll end with Chad lining up with the Creeds and Ivy. I'm looking forward to it playing out. Yeah, pretty much. They're quite happy right now with where they are, and I do think they'll be feuding between everyone involved right now for the next 6 months or so, and I'm there for it. Michael says Meltzer also seems to have a completely different story about Tiffany than PWInsider and Body Slam. Meltzer seems to think she would have been fired, but PWInsider and Body Slam make it sound like it's not a big deal at all. Yeah, it's not a big deal at all. I can confirm one way on that one. Meltzer's wrong. Again. King Azza says, Tom, what do you see the finish being between Cody versus Logan? Dusty as hell. Catching flies. Spider-Boss says, Meltzer joined the club of criticised Mercedes Money even before she makes her AEW in-ring debut because it gets clicks. I do think we need to get her in the ring now. It will certainly shut up a lot of those people. Sai says, evening Tom and all, hope all's good. All good, thank you Sai, welcome to the show, good to see you mate. Cal says, hey Tom, mate, haven't been around for a bit, had personal issues, but I'm back like I never left. Hope you and your family are well. Very well, thank you, mate. We're all doing very well, and I'm glad to hear from you. Hope you're doing good too. Goof43 says, any news on Dexter Lumis? Yes, they are putting together the packages at the moment for Dexter Lumis and essentially having him rehearse his role. He's not going to be talking a lot again. Sean says, do you see Randy defeating Carmelo Hayes? Yes, I do. Primarily because that leads to Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga. Bloodline, innit? They're still the main story. Cal says, just joined, so I don't know if you've said who's joining, but I think Braun, Rowan and Bliss will be part of the new Wyatt family. I've reported on this over the last few weeks. You got a good little roundup in the first 5 minutes, mate. By all means, get back. Michael says, do you think AEW debuted Mercedes too early? If they knew her debut match wouldn't be until Double or Nothing. I think they did, yes, but at the same time, everyone knew. And I kind of have to own up to my part in this. Everyone knew she was coming. Everyone knew Mercedes was coming. What was the point in hiding her? What was the point? We have 94 people watching, 37 likes, 3 more to 40. 3 more to 40. Can you get me there? Brad says, thank you everyone for the support. No problem, mate. If you need us, you know where we are. And you just jump in the Discord, mate. Spider-Boss says, I liked Mercedes and Willow's segment on the last AW Dynamite. Mercedes is making Willow look as $1 billion of bucks. And here is something worth pointing out. Because the promise that Mercedes Money made was not the elevation of Mercedes Money. The promise that Mercedes Money made was more eyes on the women's division. She's made Willow look amazing. Willow has not had that much to do with AEW so far, but she's become one of the most compelling characters there. Mercedes Money is doing everything she promised. Sean said, is Mercedes a heel in AEW? I was told by a friend she was cheered when she was put through the table. Yes, at the moment she is indeed a heel. I reported ahead of time that she'd be 1, going after the TBS Championship, and 2, a heel in very short order. Koo says, what are your thoughts on AEW at this current moment? I think the actual show quality is good. I think the reputation isn't. I think unfortunately word of mouth is working against them. As they know, I've not played any 2K34. You're a while away from that one. Kelly says, it's the Wire 6 attack Cody. I will be watching. Next piece of news, and then I will of course be continuing to read the comments. Brian Gewirtz, the personal writer of The Rock and a member of the WWE creative team, has corrected PWInsider about their reports on the WrestleMania documentary. Brian Gewirtz has stated that it was promoted too early, which shouldn't surprise anyone because they were promoting it before WrestleMania finished. We all knew this, and I'm baffled by the fact that we've seemingly all forgotten it. Brian Gewirtz is one of many people backstage in WWE who's getting sick of the dirt sheets, getting real sick of the dirt sheets, and he's going to be diving in and posting some corrections. You will note that Brian Gewirtz has corrected 2 outlets, Fightful and PWInsider. Also worth mentioning, Triple H attacked 2 outlets. I suspect there might be some correlation there. And to be clear, Triple H has not apologised. Dylan says, here's why I think Jay might actually win the King of the Ring. Not only sets up his involvement for the future Bloodline storyline, but really does Gunter need King of the Ring. No, he does not. I think Jey Uso beating Gunter is a great way to relaunch main event Uso and get him back involved a little bit with the Bloodline. King Arthur says, Tom, I would hold off Roman returning until after SummerSlam. The pop will be massive. I'd have him return at SummerSlam and just start spearing people. Go for Solo. Go for Solo. Get the pop. Dylan has gone to winning Money in the Bank. Money off the bank, money in the bank. Carl says, I'm definitely excited to see Bo. I enjoyed him in NXT. He was always a good in-ring performer, and I can't wait for that pop when we see him. He may be behind a mask for most of it. McGuire says, why are AEW ratings dropping week by week? I think the reputation, as I say, is working against them, but I also think the drop in ratings is actually consistent with the last 2 years. This is not a strong period for wrestling. In the next couple of weeks, in 2022 and in 2023, they managed to recover a lot of their losses. Now, year on year, they're down, but week on week, they're following the exact trend they always have. Ashton says, when they do debut, will it just be Taylor on his own, or will people be with him straight away? People will be with him straight away. It won't be an immediate, here's all of my friends, but it will be a eye-catching, immediate arrival. Daniela says, what's your thoughts on Dijak not being booked on Raw for the second straight week after being drafted to Raw? Kiana at least had a backstage segment with Pierce this week. As I did report, I think on Monday, the plan for Kiana James was backstage segments to warm her up. Okay, that was very much the plan. As regards Dijak, he's not quite ready, and the WWE wanted to sign a new deal first. Michael says, quite rightly, Willow has not had that loud of a pop ever in AEW. Ray says, what's your favourite wrestler theme music in 2024? Still hasn't changed, still Asuka. Daniela says, would you agree the Awesome Truth tag title reign has been booked far better than A-Town Down Under's tag title reign? Nope, I think they're basically around the same, they're just on different shows. I think the standard of competition is a bit better on Raw though. Troy says, good evening Tom, hope all is well, enjoy watching. Spoiler warning, I will, thank you very much Troy, welcome to the show. Cal says, it's crazy we started this year with people wanting Roman's title reign to end and The Rock to go away, and all we want is to see them both. I can't wait for them both to return. Sean says, did you see that WWE released a best of Becky Lynch matches? It's made fans jump to conclusions that she isn't re-signing. Funnily enough, there's already one of them on the network. She's big enough that they do that for her. Daniela says, would it be a good idea to assume that the Creeds and Ivy will get pushes and possible title reigns in the possible future new stable with Gable? Yes. You can always assume that someone's going to be pushed if they're about to be used in a good storyline. Ray says, Bray and Bray's work has many incredible fans, but I would argue that Jody Gillu is not only one of the most passionate believers in Bray, but someone who wanted to share that passion with the world. Spider-Boss says, since her match with Mercedes at New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgent pay-per-view, AEW has been pushing Willow as one of their top babyfaces. Defeat Mercedes money last year has made wonders for Willow. Funnily enough, injuring someone can do the world of good. Look at Drew McIntyre. Ironic. DM says, I don't see Drew losing another world title match in Clash at the Castle in the UK. This time his hometown. I hope Punk doesn't screw him again. What's your prediction for the match result? I've been saying it for months, mate. Saying it for months. Let's talk about that. Because we've been talking about Dave Meltzer. We seem to be talking about Dave Meltzer a lot recently. Firstly, 104 people watching, 46 likes. 4 more to 50. We are flying. Keep it rolling. Please. Dave Meltzer had another scoop. A scoop that you guys may have never heard before that was copy and pasted in outlets all across the world. He's going to be cited in UK newspapers because he's Dave Meltzer. It's infuriating. He reported on the 17th of May that it looks like Drew McIntyre will face Damian Priest at Clash at the Castle. We first reported that on Spoiler Warning in March, before WrestleMania, before the cash-in. And I do just want to take the opportunity to say, once again, I really am starting to think that Dave Meltzer's watching Spoiler Warning. I appreciate those, for example, Eric, who went out there and put me over for this one, sharing the news to, I believe it was WrestleTalk, that this news first came from myself. That sort of thing, you guys going out there and telling people it was first here, that's going to get people watching. That's going to get me growing on Twitter. That's going to get those outlets giving me a chance and reporting the news. That's going to make people pay attention. I was in Sports Illustrated a couple of weeks ago. You guys are making that happen, so I want to say a massive thank you to all of you. Michael says, people also need to consider that Dynamite was the number 6 most watched show on TV behind the NBA and NHL playoffs. It's been like that for weeks. That is not a bad position to be in. It is very much not. I don't think they're doing anywhere near as badly as I'm seeing people just doom all over them on social media. There are some bad eggs. There really are. We all know who I'm talking about. But by and large, AEW is presenting a very good show. Bailey says, given the number of shows WWE is running, is this going to be the peak size of the rosters? No. You know how it is. Dylan says, Tom, if you told me 10 years ago that people would actually be chanting, "We want Roman," I would have told you you're clearly wrong. The fact that they are chanting, "We want Roman," is unreal. Yeah, and really quick after he left as well. Daniela says, many thanks for answering my questions, Tom. You're very welcome, Daniela. I'll happily answer as many questions as I can. The more questions you guys ask, the more comments you make, the more you react, the more you talk amongst yourselves, the more the chat rate goes up. Chat rate going up works the same as likes. The more chat rate, the more likes, the more views we end up getting, the more this channel grows. If you want people to find this channel, talk amongst yourselves. Genuinely helpful. King Azza says, Tom, the fear is if Cody faces a Wire 6, he'll be booed or will get a mixed reaction. Depends how quickly he gets battered. Lucas says, new fan of the channel, but I'm excited to see where this goes. This Wire 6 is getting very interesting. Thumbs up on the channel and keep it going. Cheers, mate. Have a good day. Thank you, Lucas. That's a great message to read. And I very much applaud you for saying it. Thank you. Velocity says, hey, been a while, man. It's me, Colton. I have a question. When do you think Uncle Howdy will return? Does he tonight? No. Soon. If you pop back to the first 5 minutes of the video, I've got quite a bit of information on this that you may enjoy. Just rewind. Spider-Boss says, when Omega and Hangman Page and lately MJF were world champions, AEW's ratings weren't so high. People just choose to criticise Mercedes because it gets clickbait. Yeah, that's exactly right. Rosal says, what does WWE think of Lyra Valkyria? She seems like she's doing great on the main roster in the short time she's been there. You've answered your own question, mate. You've answered your own question. Cal says, I think we'll see Uncle Howdy return with Erick Rowan. He'll remind Braun of the monster he truly is. And over the next weeks, we'll see a playground with demonic laughter leading to Alexa's return. Might be a bit longer than a few weeks. I've been reporting on that one as well. Killy says, if Roman spears Solar, I'll be cheering for Roman. Coup43 rightly pointing out, unfortunately, it seems that Jericho is hurting AEW momentum. True. Carl says, not going to lie, I believe Finn will screw bisexual Undertaker. Spider-Bot says, Damian Priest looked quite well on his promo on Raw this week. Priest spitting facts at Drew. Drew McIntyre is bringing the best out of everyone. DM says, so far, WWE just giving Cody good opponents, just have good matches but no compelling storylines. They should fix that. Cody needs a long-term story for Cody, and the only option is Randy. It's not the only option, mate. It's not the only option. Zane says, spoiler warning is the best podcast in all of space and time. Ooh. Spider-Boss says, 2 years since Mercedes, Money and Naomi left WWE, nothing has changed in how WWE treat the women's tag team titles. That I can't disagree with. Selvik says, oh hey Uncle Dave, Brian Alvarez, and whoever is in Wrestling Observer, if you're watching this, hello, you know who you are. Mike Brand, that is absolutely not true. Dreadmare is not Bo Dallas. Dreadmare is a fan channel pretending to be connected. It is simply not the case that there is any connection whatsoever. I've done the research on this one. I've spoken to the people involved. Dreadmare is in no way affiliated with WWE or any of its employees. Spider-Man says a lot of rumours surrounding Bianca Belair. People on social media assuming she's pregnant. More on that shortly. Michael says it was WWE's face push of Roman to push people away from WWE and heal Roman in the bloodline that got some back. See what happens when you give the people what they want. And Triple H has been doing it ever since. DM says LA Knight is losing a lot of momentum. As of late, he needs a big push. He should have beat Logan for the US title, but now if Cody wins the title, what's LA rule on TV? Could he challenge Cody at Clash? He could. I don't think he will. The most likely scenario is that they come out of it with the same championship that they had going in, and LA Knight still takes on Logan Paul. Sid, thank you very much for that confirmation. Always nice to know things are still going well. Dylan says, here's the thing. If Jay beats Gunter next week, fans aren't going to be happy. And honestly, do you see Jay winning? It looks like he's actually picked to win it or at least be in the final. Yes, I see Jay winning. Because when Gunter's already lost one, it doesn't make too much impact if he loses again. Ed says, hey everyone. Hey Ed, how you doing? Justin says, hello Tom, I'm back for Wyatt News. Nice to see you, mate. A lot of people returning today. I'm guessing I've really piqued the interest. For those who haven't already, by the by, if you can make sure you're following on Twitter/X, it's at Colohue right there. We have just gone above 9,000 followers. We're heading back towards 10k. I would like to get there, and in general, Twitter's being very good to me at the moment. So if you haven't already followed there, please make sure to do so. Velocity says, I remember a lot when I used to be on here so much. I was Colton Kinnaman then, but I wanted to tell you that I'm proud of the person you've been, and I thank you for everything you do. Lovely messages from you guys lately. That's absolutely amazing, Colton. Thank you very kindly. very generous thing to say, and I very much take the compliment. Thank you. Daniela is chanting, "We want Roman." Sean says, "I see Alexa back at SummerSlam, maybe getting involved in one of the women's title matches." Koo says it does seem that AEW is working storyline with Dave Meltzer involving star ratings of Omega and Ospreay. Daniela says, "How long till Roman comes back?" Roughly, he's currently listed to return at SummerSlam. Or around SummerSlam, I should say. Cal says, "I think it's fair to suggest the Wyatt Six will tribute to The Fiend and Bray Wyatt, but I wonder if they'll use Luke Harper's name in their promos. Possibly at times, though I will say Bo Dallas and Luke Harper weren't as close as Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper were." DM says, "Does Sami Zayn have a good chance to win the world title?" No. Bailey says, "Does Piper Niven get a match at Clash at the Castle?" Unlikely. The other Mike says, "Do you think Cody will get a heel run before dropping the title?" No. Sean says, "Liv talked about a finisher on Insight that it's never been kicked out of. Do you see Becky kicking out of it and King and Queen of the Ring?" No. No. Becky's not that person. And it's not like WrestleMania, so they'll protect it a bit better. Speaking of Liv Morgan, our next piece of news is as regards Liv Morgan. The arrest footage of Liv Morgan was released a couple of days ago. Now, I'm just going to throw a concept out there. At the same time, Liv Morgan was being interviewed by Chris Van Vliet. At the same time, Liv Morgan is heading into a match at Saudi Arabia to take on Becky Lynch for a championship. The WWE are very happy with the fan reaction to what was released from Liv Morgan's arrest footage. They believe in the footage she handles herself well, she speaks professionally, and she doesn't sound like she is worthy of being arrested. In fact, it's said that it only makes her look good to fans of Liv Morgan and will help expand her. It's a moment like Superbad, where, you know, getting arrested sometimes just makes you cool. So WWE believe that they've made Liv Morgan cooler. I struggle to argue with that. I genuinely do. Not something I really thought I'd be saying today, but that's very much the case. Dom says, "What's up, Tom and chat? I see Bianca and Jade in the same bracket. I don't believe WWE will give us on a SmackDown. Your thoughts?" Next piece of news as regards Bianca. Actually, is it? Let me double check. Next piece of news as regards Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair. Steve says, "Watching on delay, catching up now. What's this about?" Tiffany. That is also part of the next piece of news. Noob says, "Hello, Mr. Colohue. How are you doing?" Doing very well, thank you, Noob. Hope you are as well. Sid says, "Are you a fan of Jake something in TNA?" I don't watch TNA, unfortunately, Sid. DM says, "AEW is losing a lot of fans, but they're doing great these days. I hope they get those fans to care again." Me too. Fireworks, okay. Who's blasting fireworks? Spider-Man says, "Law and Crime revealed a video of Liv Morgan getting arrested last year. Police officers recognised Liv because of her ID." Yep, and it's suddenly doing the rounds again. Eric says, "Jey Uso versus Tamatonga should be a launching pad for the OG Bloodline versus the new Savage Bloodline Civil War games." Zane says, "Will John Cena have any more matches in 2024 in WWE?" Likely, not guaranteed. Cal says, "Tom, do you know when the WWE is in the UK time? They have the decency to have it as UK time. UFC starts at 1 a.m. in Manchester. How am I going to survive? It's my birthday on Saturday and I've got to stay awake." Coffee? Daniela says, "Any update on Jimmy Uso? He got attacked by Bloodline and nothing about him since. Seriously injured." Lucas, "Unfortunately, Uncle Harper never came to be." Dane says, "Will John Cena..." I've already read that one. DM says, "Priest cut his best promo as champion on Raw Monday. It took standing across from McIntyre to do it. Some don't want to admit, but that's just fact. McIntyre is the uncrowned champion of Raw." When it comes to Damian Priest, yes, he's basically a transitional champion, but what I will say is that I think he also did a very good job in the promo against Jey Uso. I think he's getting a spotlight on him, and I think he's shining. Kelly says, "I really enjoy watching Spoiler Warning. Best show to watch Monday to Friday. Really appreciate you, mate. Can't wait for face turn Roman Reigns to come back." Thank you, Kelly. That's a very nice thing of you to say. I appreciate it. We have 111 viewers, 58 likes. 2 more to 60, guys. 2 more. Sorry for the duck face. I don't know what I was doing. Dylan says, will it be safe to assume Ilya versus Gunter 3 will most likely be a bash in Berlin? No. No, it isn't. Not yet. Spider-Boss says, I think one of the reasons fans support Liv is because not all fans want to see Becky being champion again. Completely unrelated. I think fans should support Liv because of Liv and not because she's not someone else. Daniela says, it's Tiffy time. Sean says, are you going to go watch Deadpool and Wolverine? Hugh Jackman is coming back as Wolverine. Hell yeah, I am. I've watched every Deadpool in the cinema and I ain't going to change that. I went to see Deadpool 2 on my own. Because, you know, times. Then he says, have you got your tissue ready for the good... Well, for the goodbyes of Klopp on Sunday? Not really a crier. I'm at times. Cried watching Dexter earlier. That was a turn up for the book. DM says, if Samoa Joe leaves AEW when his deal expired, Triple H will call him right away to come back. Yeah, I've been reporting that for a long time. What is actually happening? Someone's having a party. Apologies if you can hear that, guys. Spider-Ball says, when Solo Sikoa takes out Paul Heyman, that is when Roman will return. Without the wise man, there isn't a tribal chief. Daniela says, who do you see winning tonight, Tiffany or Belair? I could see Queen Stratton. How about you? More on that very shortly. Rickan says, do you have any idea when Ricky Stark's contract is up? I do not. Joey also asking about the Ricky Starks contract. I have no information on Ricky Starks at this point. Eric says, hi Tom, buddy, how are you? I'm very good, Eric. Thank you, by the way, earlier for what you said on Twitter to, I believe it was WrestleTalk. I appreciate you for that. Joey says, does Triple H want to save Ilya versus Gunter for a big PLE? It's more about what's happening right now for Gunter. They're not necessarily defined entirely by each other. Justin says, do you think Bo can pull this off? I think he's more creative than he gets credited for. A lot of the creative comes down to Rob Fee, who worked directly with Bray Wyatt. If you want more information on that, zip back to the beginning. Khalid, thank you, says, just got 2 adverts. Eric just got an ad as well. Thank you guys for letting me know. I appreciate that. It seems like we're getting about 1 every half hour. Not a bad place to be for an hour-long show. You'll get 2 ads. I don't think that's too much of a problem. Let me know if you think it is. Michael says, very random time of the year for fireworks. Indeed. DM says, honestly, I'm enjoying Drew Punk feud and I want it to make it to WrestleMania 41, but that may not happen. Funnily enough, I've been saying, since March, that CM Punk returning to face Drew McIntyre for the championship at SummerSlam is on the agenda. Seeing a lot of that from other people recently. Isaiah says, when the Wyatt Six make their debut, will it be at SummerSlam where Alexa is set to return? Once again, please rewind, Isaiah. That is our top story. Just rewind and watch it there. Rickan says, do you see Malachi and Buddy jumping to WWE when their contracts expire, or do you think they return to AEW? I think they go to WWE. Dane says, who is your favourite YouTuber? Probably Smosh. I'm a Smosh guy. Find it funny. Spider-Boss says, I don't get why Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge, is on a no-holds-barred match, his third match with Christian and his match with Malachi Black. I think Adam Copeland doesn't need to take so many bumps at his age, and yet he will. Brad says, just got an ad. Thank you, Brad. Coot says, do you have any news on Natalia Neidhart contract running out via SRS? No, I've not even heard that her contract is running out. I've not been able to get any confirmation on it. None whatsoever, unfortunately. There is no heat on Tiffany Stratton. That was completely made up online rumour. The WWE are not unhappy with Tiffany Stratton. In fact, they're thrilled with the reception that she's been getting. People do seem to insist on making things up. Because this has now been formally denied, people seem to swap from attacking Tiffany Stratton to saying Bianca Belair was pregnant. Now, I'm seeing a lot of evidence without any evidence. I'm hearing from people on social media that Montez Ford posted something and then deleted it. I'm not seeing any evidence of it. So I've not been able to chase this one up. The WWE did briefly stop promoting the match. First, people blamed Tiffany Stratton. Now, people are saying Bianca Belair's the problem. The match is again being promoted on social media as we speak, suggesting that it's going to go ahead. And the WWE are still, to my knowledge, planning a Bianca Belair versus Jay Cargill match, which could be a lot of fun. Tag team champions versing each other. Versus each other. Could be fun. SmackDown itself will provide the answers, and when it comes to a potential pregnancy, much like in 2021, I don't really want to speculate on something so personal. I don't care about getting this scoop because it's invasive. And I don't support anyone who's trying to get this scoop or who claims to have this scoop. Someone's pregnancy is not your business. Basically. Selvig says, is Ricky Starks open to return on TV, or is he letting the remaining dates in his AEW contract go by? He's waiting for AEW to call and say, hey, we've got this for you, basically. Eddie, I can't speculate on that one. Steve says, any insight as to the short-term goal for the follow-through with who's crowned king/queen of the ring? The WWE believe the actual tournament itself will be a strong push for them. Michael says, is Adam Copeland doing these matches because of how soon he could be to retirement? No, he just likes them. Spiderboss says, funny fact, Twitch didn't show spoiler warning was live. Ah, that's a shame. Sorry to hear that. Sean says, why do main roster talents keep appearing in NXT knowing the draft is in full effect? Because people were being drafted to NXT. They were. Now, they're not there permanently. They're visiting, they're coming in and they're going out. But the only reason that's happening is because the WWE doesn't want it to look like they're being demoted. DM Hunk says Bron Breakker is a Goldberg ripoff. Not even close. Not even close. He can already do about 20 times the amount of moves Goldberg can. Also, his spear is actually better. Dylan says, last time I bring it up, what do you think the finish for Jay and Gunter will be? No comment. Isaiah says, Tom, thoughts on WWE and Noah partnerships? Noah are trying to make it happen. WWE aren't particularly invested. Spiderboss says, looking at how WWE book Bianca, I don't see her losing against Tiffany. That does depend, though. Tiffany versus Naomi is still where the story is. Eddie is asking if WrestleMania will be in London and Saudi. No. Michael says, as far as I know, it started Montez posting Father Free in his Instagram bio, but then later removing it. Have you seen that, Michael? Did you see that? Rickon says, who's more likely to be facing their feud, Finn or Priest? Finn. Dane says, when is King and Queen of the Ring? 2 weeks? I want to say 2 weeks. I don't really remember because I'm not watching it because it's in Saudi Arabia. Razar is still predicting King Gunter and Queen Io. DM says WrestleMania Saudi Arabia is a very bad idea and I hope we don't see it. And I agree with that. Gunter's trying to bring Brock Lesnar back to the WWE. WWE at the moment have no plans to use Brock Lesnar, and Brock himself seems uninterested in working under anyone who isn't Vince McMahon. In fact, he didn't want to sign the last contract. He had to be convinced, apparently. At the same time, the WWE have now openly supported Vince McMahon in his defense against the accusations made. The WWE, of course, are also fielding accusations, so they kind of need to get on track and defend it, but joining in with Vince McMahon isn't necessarily going to be a guarantee. This is a pretty clear indication that the WWE are willing to overlook certain allegations, including, for example, those against Brock Lesnar. Gunter was asked by Alex McCarthy of the Daily Mail. He was asked about Brock Lesnar because someone just loves asking the questions about people who shouldn't be talked about right now. Gunter was more than happy to dive into that conversation. He doesn't seem to care too much about the situation. Gunter still wants to wrestle Brock Lesnar. As I exclusively reported, in October, Brock Lesnar versus Gunter for the Intercontinental Championship was the plan at WrestleMania, with Gunter defeating Brock Lesnar. Michael says, I did not see it. I only saw screenshots, which can, of course, be photoshopped. Thank you for confirming that. DM says Triple H has buried the US title. I disagree. Sean says, I saw an article from Wrestling Inc. saying Carmella revealed on the Bellas podcast she got a non-wrestling injury which has been keeping her out and still plans to return to the ring. Thank you. That can't have been easy to source with all of those layers, but you've done that spectacularly, Sean. I appreciate you for that. Exactly where you've seen it, exactly where they've sourced it. Beautiful. She does, in fact, have drop foot. That's one of the reasons we haven't seen her just yet. The WWE are more than ready for her to return. They haven't got any creative plans ready for her. When she gives them the all clear, they'll go ahead and start planning things. Rickan says, do you think any other titles will get redesigned? Not at this point. Eric says, I can see King Jay because I have to give Jay something to make him feel main event. Razal says, I honestly don't want to see Brock back. I just don't see the need for him. They have enough stars now. They don't even have enough space on PLE cards for all of them. They have enough space on the cards for about 2 of them. Spider-Boss says, I didn't get why Bron Breakker wasn't added to the King of the Ring tournament. He was one of those that would have needed to win it. Old Lady Sky says, I'm excited for Erick Rowan to return. Not long now. You've asked that 3 times now. I did answer you the first time. Last but not least, Dave Meltzer did get it wrong. Ivar is indeed injured. He's not going to need surgery, but he is out for an undetermined amount of time. It's unfortunate. He's become injured just as Eric was coming back into play. This is what happened to the Revival way back when. They basically dovetailed with injury and couldn't be used otherwise. There really wasn't much planned for Ivar anyway, hence why we were seeing him popping up in NXT. But they were waiting for the return of Eric to reunite the Viking Raiders, to really kick this one into gear and get them working. It's a real shame for Ivar, and unfortunately, these things do happen. Spider-Boss says, I remember last time we saw Carmella on TV, she was working with Chelsea Green. Sovic says, does Alexa have a similar case as Carmella, like she needs to give WWE green light and she needs to be healthy? Yes. As soon as Alexa Bliss gives the green light to the WWE, they will start planning things, as I've reported a couple of days ago. Sovic just says, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Dylan, it's a similar question. Sovic is right to ask that. She is on maternity leave and she'll be permitted to return when she gives them the green light that she is ready to. She doesn't actually have to at this point. Daniela says it'll be a while till we see Eric and Ivar tagging together in the ring. Yes, it will. No, Azara, I don't see a hardcore belt coming in. That will be a 24/7 belt. Rosal says about the Bianca rumour, Angelo Dawkins just responded to one of the tweets laughing, so I'm assuming it's not true. Yeah, I don't see it being true. Steve says, why do people say that Drew should win in his hometown? Is there a scheduled PLE for Air, I believe it is. No worries, Selvik, no worries. People just think the entire country is Drew's hometown. Can't blame him. So, we are 42 minutes in. We have peaked at 117 viewers, and that is all the news that I have for you. We will be back with more spoiler warning on Monday, so I hope to see you all then. Until then, massive thank you to all of you for joining me. I've been Tom Colohue, you've been fantastic, and I'll see you all very soon.